Hi everyone, today we are on lesson 12.9 and that is about elapsed time. The question asks, how can you use this strategy to draw a diagram to solve elapsed time problems? All right, let's try one. So first we're going to read the problem. Dora and her brother, Kyle, spent 1 hour and 35 minutes doing yard work. They stopped for lunch at 1:20. What time did they start doing yard work? Okay, so the information we know is they spent 1 hour and 35 minutes doing yard work. Then they stopped for lunch at 1:20 p.m. Let me underline that p.m. That's what time they stopped. And the question asks, what time did they start doing yard work? So, what do I need to find out? Well, what does the question ask? At what time did they start doing yard work? I need to find out the time that Dora and Kyle, I hope you're trying to answer it. Dora and Kyle started doing yard work. Trying to move that period back up. And it doesn't seem to be working. There it goes. All right. Move it a little closer. Make it look nice. So I need to find out what time they started doing yard work. All right, let's see what the next question asks. What information do I need to use? So the only information I have is 1 hour and 35 minutes. It's how long they spent. And then they stopped for lunch at 1:20 p.m. So I need to use the elapsed time. Whoops. Let's fix that. Elapsed time. And I need to know, so the elapsed time is this amount right here. How much time has passed, elapsed. And I need to know what time they stopped for, lunch. Oh my goodness, my typing today. Okay, what time they stopped for lunch. So those are the things I need to know. How much time did they take doing the yard work? And then how much, when they stopped for lunch. So the elapsed time, right here. And then what time they stopped for lunch. All right, next. How can I draw the line to help me count backwards to find the, what am I looking for? What am I trying to figure out with this problem? Go back to the question and look at what we underlined. What am I trying to find out? What is the question asking me? You think about that. You can either pause or you can wait for me to fix this period. If you need more time, you can pause the video to answer the questions. At what time did, so I need to find what I can draw a line to help me count backwards and find the start time. All right. So I need to find the start time. I know that they stopped at 1:20 p.m. and I know they went for an hour and 35 minutes. All right, let's go to the next part of the problem. I can draw a line that shows the end time is 1:20. Next, I can count backwards 1 hour, then 5 minutes at the next time until I have 35 minutes. So on your own, I'm not going to show you the line they drew. I'm going to draw a line for you. I'm going to show you what they want you to do. I'm going to draw a line right here, kind of like a number line. My end time we know is the 1:20 p.m. That's what time they had lunch. So 1:20. Now, I know it's going to be 1 hour. Let me just write this right here. 1 hour. And then, 35 minutes. That's some lovely writing. Sorry about that. Ooh, that E looks like a monster. All right. So, here it says to go back 1 hour. It does not matter how you do it as long as you have made an hour and 35-minute jump. So, if you start out here, you need to go this way, okay? Because this is the end time. You want to make it up here to the start time. So what I want you to do is pause your video and see if you can figure out what the start time is. All right, I hope you paused the video and you figured it out. Well, I'm going to start with 1 hour. So if I go backwards an hour from here to here, that's going to be my 1 hour. So that would be, instead of being 1:20, you're going backwards. So you're taking the clock and going backwards. So that would be 12:20. Now, it says to go in 5 minutes. Doesn't matter. You could do a half an hour, which is 30 minutes, and then you could do 5 minutes. You could do in jumps of 5 minutes. I'm going to jump a half an hour, like that. Just because I want to, and I want to show you something different. Do you see how I'm labeling all this up here? So then in the end, I know, did I jump an hour and 35 minutes? So here's my 30 minutes. So if I rewind, it's kind of like rewinding. Move back your clock. 30 minutes, I would have 11:50. And if I rewind another 5 minutes, if I move back another 5 minutes, now remember, I only need it 35 minutes. Oh, sorry, let me fix that. 5. Should have moved my start a little bit. Minutes. I hope yours is neater than mine because mine is a mess. So 5 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 5 minutes. So it's 1 hour and 35 minutes. It would be 11:45. Now this over here was PM. What would this be? AM or PM? This would be AM. So let's look what I did. I went and I did 1 hour and 35 minutes. I got that from the question right here, 1 hour, 35 minutes. So I jumped an hour, and then I jumped 30 minutes, and then I jumped 5 minutes. So when I jumped an hour, I went to 12:20. When I jumped 30 minutes, I went to 11:50. When I jumped 5 minutes, I went 11:45. Let's go this way again, and let's see if sometimes if I go forward, it's easier. So if I add 11, this is checking my work. If I add 5 minutes to 11:45, I get 11:50. If I add 30 minutes to 11:50, do I get 12:20? I sure do. And if I add an hour to 12:20, do I get 1:20? Yes, I do. So now I'm going to show you theirs. That was mine. Let me erase mine and show you theirs. It's a little different than mine because remember, they said they were going to go by 5 minutes. Okay. So they started it again at 1:20. And look, they write their totals at the top, just like you need to do. So 1:20 to, I like putting the times in right here. 12:20. Ooh. Then I would write all the 5-minute increments. I would make mine a little bit bigger, spread them out so I could write them in. It's a little bit easier and I can see it. So they did 5 minutes. This is not 10 minutes in between here. I don't really like how they labeled it. I like to label it 5 minutes. And then this would be another 5 minutes. So this 5 minutes and this 5 minutes equal 10 minutes. Here was another 5 minutes. So 5, 10, 15. Here was another 5 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20. Another 5 minutes. Again, another 5 minutes. And then another 5 minutes. So they still end or start at 11:45. So Dora and her brother, Kyle, started doing yard work at 11:45 a.m. All right, let's go back and review. So first thing we did was we broke the problem apart. We needed to know what information we had, what information we needed to find, what information I was using, and then we drew the number line. They drew it like this. Remember, I drew mine a little differently, and that's okay too. Okay? Label. Label, label, label. They labeled and I labeled. Very important to label your number line. All right. So today you learned about elapsed time and you learned how can you use strategies. The strategy, draw a diagram to solve elapsed time problems. And we just drew a diagram right here. All right. Remember, it's not exact. There's no right way or wrong way to draw the number line as long as you use all the correct information. I might do it in an hour and then sorry. I might do it in an hour and then 5 minutes. That's what they did. Or I might do it in an hour, 30 minutes, whatever works for you. Or I could take in that 20 minutes right off the bat and made it very easy from 12:20 to 12 o'clock. That would have been 20 minutes. And then work backwards from there. As long as you move backwards 1 hour and 35 minutes, you're good. Doesn't matter what jumps you make. All right? If you have any questions, let me know. Bye, everyone.